Are you tired of corporate supermarket chains and their censored hot sauce lineups? Are you bored of the hot sauce scene in general? I definitely was. That's why my favorite hot sauces come from Fuego Box, a hot sauce club delivering small batch artisanal hot sauces right to your doorstep. Check them out at fuegobox.co and use the code BS for $10 off the all-time sleeper of delicious hot sauces. Fuegobox.co, code BS. The Bill Simmons podcast is also brought to you by HBO because they were nice enough to give me my own television show that launches next spring. Thank you, HBO. If you didn't know, you don't need cable or satellite to watch HBO anymore. Just download the HBO Now app and start your free 1-month trial today.
Yeah. Clear enough for you? All right. Yeah.
All right, Sal. I pictured you rolling last night,
Can you see me?
and I pictured you just being sad,
Y'all ready for me?
doing that thing you do where you're just kind of moping. You probably stayed up till, 3 in the morning?
Yeah.
Just surfed online, read Twitter, blog posts. Cowboys lose. You lost too many games on the Cowboys, but that wasn't even the bad part. The Mets, a haunting series. Are you okay?
It was all so bad. I know I clean up really nicely, so you can't tell, but this is the worst off I am physically and mentally that I think you've ever seen me. But and it's sleep deprivation is a part of it. Just you can go back to the series was so excruciating, but after that Saturday night game, the Mets blow that game, and then
The Halloween game.
and then I go to bed. I'm like 37 mini almond joys in, and then I wake up early. All right, we got the hour back with the daylight
that was
savings.
good.
But I stupidly picked the Chiefs as my best bet. I mean, it ended up winning, but I had to wake up and watch the game. It was just such a long day, and like as you say, the Cowboys, they lose in miserable fashion. Then I get like a 15-minute respite before the Mets, and yeah, it's brutal. Baseball's the cruelest of all, I think.
It's
really
the worst because it's long and it's tense, and
Yeah.
it's almost like there's relief if you win, but if you lose, it feels 100 times worse than it does if you win.
Oh yeah, and the 2-3-2 hurts the fans the most. You can make an argument, which team, but to have to endure 3 games in 3 nights is just it's asking too much.
Yeah.
It really is.
Is
And,
it,
yeah, go ahead.
is it fair to say if 3 plays go differently, you could have won the series in 5?
Well, I think obviously the worst predicament is if you're a better team and you lose to the team. That's as a fan you can't take that. But I think the Royals were better than the Mets.
I did too.
But really across the board, they were probably better than the Mets. But to blow 4-8, we had 4 out of 5 games. We had a lead in the 8th inning. We could have won all of them.
Yeah. Well, all right. So a couple things. One is that you're not winning the World Series unless your 7, 8, 9 guys are lights out. But Familia was great this season. Mm-hmm. You said on the podcast, maybe I'll have Tate insert it after we finish.
Don't do it, Tate. Don't do it.
You said my biggest fear is Familia in Game 1 on a bigger stage. What's your biggest fear?
I'm afraid Familia is going to get exposed in Game 1.
Oh, you're deep down worried about Familia.
Yeah,
interesting.
I
How
am a
come?
little. I don't know why. I think
Too much intensity.
a little too much. He's been overworked and everything. I love him, but I think that could end the series if he gets exposed in Game 1.
And he gives up the homer to Gordon, which I can say I watch baseball. I'm always like trying to think what's the craziest thing that could happen here. Like I'm putting on.
Yeah.
I never thought Gordon was going to hit a homer. I thought he might get a double or single.
Just tagged it. Yeah,
But-
and like you said, you set it up for me. Like, what's your biggest fear? I said Familia being exposed in Game 1, which is ridiculous thing to say because he had like 21
lights
straight
out.
saves.
Yeah.
It's stupid. And then it just fell over, domino effect.
You were deep down. You're worried about Collins,
Yeah.
who did a couple.
I think
Shaky
Saturday night he
moves.
screwed up. I think
Clippard?
Clippard putting him in there. We had seen enough of Clippard Mets fans have for the last 2 months to know when he doesn't have it. So one batter and that's it for him. It's bad that we didn't have a lefty, a good lefty to come out of the pen, and that's what the Royals have, and that's the difference. But yeah, I think Murphy was going to be the GOAT for that game, but I think it was Collins for Saturday.
So what are your feelings about Murphy right now? Conflicted?
I don't know. I mean,
You don't get there if he doesn't do all the stuff
I know.
he did.
It's really weird. As weird as it was, his streak, just the fact that he disappeared and played Bad News Bears style defense in the latter games of the series just killed us. I don't think we re-signed him.
You know, I thought he was under contract. He's
No.
not. He's a free agent.
Yeah, I think he's gone.
So the homer to Gordon in game 1.
Yeah.
And then even like the 14-inning game, you lose that one.
Right.
It's just you never feel good about the series after that because it reminded me a little bit of the Bruins and the Oilers in 1990 when we lost a triple overtime game in game 1. I just felt like the series was over after we lost. They had to beat us 3 more times, and it just felt like it was over. And then so game 2, DeGrom has to win that game. I feel like in Kansas City, he's just come in and throw a 3-hitter. Mm-hmm. He doesn't.
Bad. Yeah.
But you win game 3, which is good. But then you needed game 4 to be one of those where you shifted the momentum karma in some way. And I don't care what people say about momentum. It exists in baseball.
Yeah.
It really does. And when Murphy made, and I was like, we have 1 million people coming to our house for Halloween. And people are manning the door and I'm coming in and out watching the game.
Yeah.
And I missed the Murphy era live, but I caught like a minute and a half afterwards. And they're showing the fans like this, and I was like, "Oh God, something happened!" Like you could just feel it. And I rewound, and it was there, and I was like, "Wow, they're gonna lose." Like
so bad.
Baseball, it's like a play like that happens, you just know, you just
can't
know
rebound.
you're screwed. You can't come back from
But
that.
then you think like Rios thinks there's 2 outs, the third out, and then we tag up and we score.
Yeah.
Like, all right, maybe. Oh wow, that plays don't happen in winning teams like that either. So I know I was going back and forth, and I was texting with our friend Gus last night. He's like, I'm not even going to be happy if we win this game last night. He's saying, he's like, I'm so mad at this team. He's like,
I know.
Don't worry about it because we're not going to win.
Well, I actually disagreed with you about the Royals being better. I actually thought they were pretty even, and the Mets just kept making dumb plays. And maybe that's a symptom of who they are. The Royals never, like the Hosmer play was symbolic of how that Royals team played. They were just balls to the wall every time.
Yeah, I understand, but and I tweeted about it, but I think that's a bonehead play. He's out by. Let me show you the screen grab.
Oh no, I saw it.
That I
when the ball
stared
passed
at
the
for
catcher.
45 minutes.
He wasn't even in the screen when the ball was hitting the catcher.
Right, he's not in the frame at all. And I just have to show you this whatever I got here. Oh, it's bad.
Well,
the game's over.
Can we say that was one of the worst throws by a first baseman above the high school
so
level
bad.
ever?
So bad.
He missed it.
Just take that. That's 15 feet. That's
my God.
That's not 5 feet. That's 15 feet he's out by.
But he's banking on the first baseman screwing up, right?
You know what it is? You're not going to like this, but it's the equivalent of Belichick letting the clock go down to nothing because, this is such a screwed up thing. Maybe it'll make Pete Carroll call the wrong play because he's not expecting it.
Why wouldn't I like that? I love that you brought up Belichick. That made me happy.
I know.
I have a little like soft boner right now.
It was a terrible play.
Yeah, it was. The Royals were just better, but I don't think that from a talent standpoint, that was
when you're
much
better
different.
like that, the other team can't make mental mistakes, and that's all the Mets were mental errors the whole way.
I'd love to go back through every World Series in the last 30 years and just say, whoever had the best closer, I wonder what the record was of the series.
Yeah.
It really is amazing. Like, I didn't feel like you were going to hit Wade Davis when he came in yesterday. It's like, they're not going to get him.
It's funny because the highlights they'll show is Eckersley giving up the home run to Kurt Gibson.
True.
And they'll show Kim
So there's an example.
Arizona, although Rivera was better, but Kim on Arizona giving up the home runs to the Yankees,
Right. So there's a couple.
Yeah.
But, did you feel like that was a World Series championship team?
The Mets?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to say they weren't?
I'm asking you honestly. Did you feel like that was a championship team? Because I don't know. I didn't watch them enough.
No, I don't know. Going into the playoffs, I thought anyone in the NL Central was better. Pittsburgh, St. Louis, and Chicago. But then when our young guns have 10 strikeouts through 4 innings, like, wow, maybe no one could touch us. But
I like Syndergaard too. I like that he did the high hard run early.
That would have been nice.
That was good.
And then he talked shit about it. He's like, it's my plate. You have a problem with it? I'm 60 feet away. That's what I was looking forward to. Game 7. How great.
Well, I told you this already, but Hench and I had Hosmer for the first 4 years in that stupid League of Dorks we're in. Yeah. And he was disappointing for the first 3.
Right.
And we kept talking, and we just kept waiting. And then finally, the last 2 months, he started to come on. And then it felt like this attachment to him watching the playoffs. It was like some kid you rooted for in high school, in your high school or something. And I thought he was Messier like in that playoffs. Like that, it wasn't just the hits and all the stuff he did and some of the plays he made, but you watch that dugout. He's so intense. The baseball players aren't intense like that anymore.
Good.
In fact, there was an emotion that emanated from him that, I don't know, it kind of set the tone for them, it seemed like. And Perez, too. It seemed like those were the two leaders of that team.
Yeah, good. Why don't you and Hosmer get a room and that'll be fine.
Do you feel like, is this a missed window, or is this the Royals last year came damn close, young team, almost there, and they kind of just couldn't get it done, shot themselves in the foot a couple times. It seemed like that helped them for this year.
Right.
This year they were mentally ready and they kept coming back. So why can't that be the Mets?
They signed Zobrist and Morale. I mean, they had some additions too, but I think we're going to lose Murphy. I hope we re-sign Cespedes, provided his leg doesn't get amputated after that foul. I mean, that was so much bigger.
Play. Yeah, that was
so
a
much
huge
bigger.
play.
Bases loaded, no
Huge
outs,
play.
come out with one run. I didn't think of anything of it at the time because whatever, we're winning and we're just going to keep winning. But yeah, that foul ball off the knee that ended up in left field somehow it was huge.
First of all, that specific foul ball happens twice a year,
right?
Like throughout the entire league, where for a right-handed hitter to somehow foul ball against his kneecap, it's like the physics are impossible,
right?
And then it screwed up his at bat. You could argue they should have taken him out.
I think they should have because
he couldn't stand on his leg.
Well, if he hits a ground ball, it's a double play for sure. And
right.
Obviously they took him out. They didn't play the field a couple outs later. But
were there a lot of times during that series where you just looked over and saw Ned Yost and you were like, "This is going to be fine"?
Yeah,
Ned Yost is there. He's going to screw this up for us.
I thought so, but we have even Yostier Yost in our clubhouse.
I didn't love what I saw from Collins.
No, I felt bad for him last night. I think Harvey, he's going to take a lot of crap for that, but I would have left Harvey in exactly as long as he did.
I would have too.
Yeah.
I didn't like, didn't he pitch Familia in game 3?
Yeah,
the blowout.
I
didn't like that at all.
That's the crazy thing. Like, and these managers get so caught up and like have your closer start the 8th. Who cares?
Right.
Like just get you have to win. There's 4 more games you have to win. Just win that day. And it's like, and everyone's like, well, he should have started the 8th. I'm like, well, he pitched the night. It didn't matter that he pitched the night before. Collins just wouldn't have had him start the 8th. And then he's like, no, well, we had him pitch the night before in a freaking 9-3 games. Like, really? That's why you didn't put Familia in the 8th? It makes me sick.
I'm never a fan of managers changing what they do during the regular season and the playoffs dramatically.
Right.
It's just the bad track record.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. I don't mind like when you feel like our season turns on this moment and I need to bring my closer in now. But in general, I think closers are like dogs. It's like my dogs around 4:30 every afternoon, they start kind of getting a little energy and looking around because at 5 they get fed. Like,
right.
And it's weird, but I feel like closers are like dogs. Like they're just used to a routine and once you knock them out of that, it gets wonky.
Well,
maybe I'm overthinking.
My dog just crapped all over the living room.
I know.
I have to spend
so what happens to Familia? He's only 25. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll be around.
Did it bother you that they had a whole conversation about how Edison Volquez was suddenly throwing 96 miles an hour? And it was unironic? No, last night. The announcer's like, Volquez, usually he's 92, 93. He's been 96 this month, which is great for him. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, there's just too much
let's
to
leave
talk.
that one
too
on
much
the table.
Downtime.
You're okay. I could tell you're hurt.
You're not right. Just like I said,
Do you want to watch Blood Diamond after the podcast or no?
Really funny. Did you see they changed the Wikipedia page?
What do you mean?
For the Blood Diamond, the actual movie, it said made Cousin Sal cry.
No.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That shouldn't be allowed.
Do you feel like the Cowboys are alive?
Yeah. Now we shift to the Cowboys.
Let's shift to the Cowboys.
Terrific.
Are you alive? Why aren't you alive? That division sucks.
What do you mean?
Can you go 9-7? Can you go 9-7?
What game are we going to win the rest of the?
When does Romo come back?
Our 2 easy games were the Jets and Dolphins, and they're all of a sudden they're okay, But
here's how I know.
Tampa, who won yesterday. Go ahead.
Tampa didn't look.
No,
they didn't look bad. That was one of the. I got abs. I knew it was going to happen. I had a really good first 7 weeks. I knew I was going to get crushed one of these weeks, but that was one of the games I was way off on. Mm-hmm. Tampa should have won in regulation.
Yeah. I had that game
Controversial
on.
4th and 1 with Atlanta with no timeouts to sneak to go for the win, which I liked, but it didn't work. So then I didn't
mind
like
that.
it.
No, I didn't mind that. But why
Yeah.
did he wait 5 seconds to decide where he's going to take the ball?
It
Winston?
wasn't great.
Yeah, and I also thought it was closer than the spot they gave him. But
So, all right, here's how I'll know if you've given up on the Cowboys
Yeah.
season or not. Every year you go back for a game.
yeah,
Are you still going back for a
Yeah,
game?
I'm going
all right, so
against
you
the
haven't given
Jets.
up yet.
No,
Yeah,
I
it's in
haven't.
December.
But do the Cowboys play Romo if they're 2-7?
Well, if they're not going to play him, can't we add him to our Monday podcast? Why can't he be the third host? Can't
He'll
we
be
call
here.
him?
Yeah, we can get him on. But like 9-7, I guess 9-7 could still win the division.
I thought the play when the Seattle guy got annihilated on the punt,
Yeah,
it was weird. It affected the momentum of the game.
right.
In a way, it just the game was really disjointed anyway, and then there was like this
Lockett,
20-minute break where it seemed like Lockett was either dead or paralyzed, and that guy's gonna get probably suspended for a game for that hit.
Yeah,
They're trying to
now
eliminate
it's
those
bad. They're
hits.
making it like the Cowboys treated it poorly, but I think
What was Des Bryant yelling about?
Which time?
During that whole hiatus, all of a sudden he started pointing at
I don't
Seahawks and
know.
yelling at him.
It's too much to keep up with Des Bryant. Now he's got a pet monkey that Pete is furious. He needs to give it up. Like maybe that was it. He's got like
Pete
a
is furious.
baby monkey.
I support any situation where Des Bryant made Peter furious.
There you go.
Let's we have a Thursday night game.
6 teams off this week, Bill.
Can you tell us the 6?
It's Arizona. It's Baltimore, Detroit, and Kansas City, the 2 London teams, Seattle and Houston.
Wow, I'm gonna really miss watching that exciting and electric Texans team.
Yeah. Only one AFC South team in there, but
So I looked at
like the London games, by the way. I know we talk about this.
I love it.
They should be one every week. Like the Thursday night game, every NFL team has to play eventually on a Thursday night. They should do the same thing with London. Maybe put one in Spain too. I don't mind anything that unclutters the Sunday 8-pack of early NFL games.
Well, with
good.
that said, the Thursday games, I just don't see how these guys. I know we've talked about it 700 times. I don't see how these guys can play on a Sunday and then play football again on a Thursday.
Right.
Like even in soccer, they try to space it out so the guys don't have to play that close together. And yet in football, where you're trying to kill each other the whole time, I don't know.
Why wouldn't it do better on Friday anyway?
Or you think Friday?
Yeah, why not?
Isn't there some sort of rule they don't do that on a Friday?
What kind of rule? The NFL
I thought
rules the
they had an
country.
understanding with the high school football people.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. Well, there's college games on Friday. I don't know.
All right. Thursday night, Cincinnati at home against the Cleveland Browns. Cincy just keeps selling it, and they want us to buy it. They're a different team. They fight back.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton's a different guy. Came back against Seattle. Throws a pick in Pittsburgh. Looks like old school Andy Dalton again.
Did.
Comes back. Wins the game.
I made the joke that
Are
he
you buying
accidentally turned his clock forward to January after that pick.
I like that's a good one.
The Bengals were my best bet, and I think I am buying it. I think
Okay.
I am. I think their defense is rock solid.
Good defense.
And you know what? Dalton is not a lot asked of him. He does that pitch and catch thing with the giant AJ Green and goes for 4 or 6 yards most of the time. I don't mind them. I mean, they're third best NFL team behind Broncos and Patriots, but they're a solid third.
I guess the difference with them this year from the other years is that it seems like they really can protect him now. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about this before, but I don't mind him when he has time. I mean, every quarterback's better with time, but in his case, if you're pressuring him, he just looks like a mess. And
Yeah.
when he has, but the one thing I don't understand is I don't understand why they don't throw to the tight end more. He's
Tyler
on my
Eifert.
fantasy team. It just seems like he
Just
should
gonna
be
say.
open 10 times a game. They always go to AJ Green. So then it's like, well, how does AJ Green beat Pittsburgh around the goal line when that's the one guy Dalton always relies on? I didn't like the game Pittsburgh played at all.
Right. Yeah.
And then Bell gets hurt. Maybe that screws them up.
It
but-
was a lot going on there. Bell got hurt, and Big Ben threw for 3 interceptions. I think people expected great things from him. He was still hobbling on his way first game back.
Yeah, he did
but
not look
He
the
could have
same.
also thrown 5 or 6 interceptions. There were a lot of double coverage passes in there.
There was Kaepernick threw one pass yesterday that got tipped by a Ram, and then 3 Rams converged on it, and all of them touched it, and it went incomplete. And I don't think I've ever seen a pass get touched by 4 defenders before. So congratulations, Colin
He really
Kaepernick.
did well. And they didn't even know about it because he had his headphones on. And they made him take it off to tell him.
So I have the Bengals by 9 in this game, and it's weird. The Browns actually looked competent
Yeah.
for a big chunk of that, I guess the first 2.5 quarters of that game. And then all of a sudden the Cards were up 2 touchdowns and it was over.
We're going to split this. I said 9.5. Oh, no, I get this. You said 9. I said 9.5. It's 10. So I get this one. But and I agree with you. I meant to look up the Browns' first half stats. In my mind, they've covered. They're 8-0 in the first half and then fall apart in the late
Browns
third
are?
quarter. In my mind, I forgot to look. But and now they have 2 guys in the secondary with concussions. It could be downhill. For
Well, and they allegedly they're a big trade deadline candidate.
Yeah.
They have some dudes.
Thomas, Hayden, yeah.
I'm hoping that they make some moves because, Lombardi was there for 2 years.
Right.
And the Pats need a couple things. And,
Oh, that's right.
yeah, so maybe
good offensive
he'll-
lineman in there.
yeah.
All right, we can go Sunday. Oakland at Pittsburgh.
Yes.
Good game.
Really good game. I believe in the Raiders. It was one of the 2 picks I got right. They can throw the ball.
Yeah.
They have receivers. They have a quarterback who can throw deep, does stuff. Their defense is pretty half decent.
And they jump on you early, too.
I like the Raiders. I think they're a playoff team.
So
If you had to bet your life on the 2 AFC wildcard teams, wouldn't they be one of the 2?
Just trying to think of this. So
Wouldn't it be the Raiders and the Jets? Unless the Jets, the QBs could screw them up. I'd probably go Steelers over Jets.
Steelers. So you go Steelers, Raiders.
I think I'd go Steelers, Raiders. Yeah.
So Chiefs are gone. They're not going to do anything.
The Chiefs are lingering all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Didn't we cross them off?
No. We only crossed off 6.
The Chiefs are 3-5. They're kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know. If 9-7 gets a wild card,
They could do it. No, I think the Raiders are the best of all the teams we just talked about. Steelers, Jets.
should we go Mike and Mad Dog and the rest of their schedule?
Go ahead.
All right. Mike, week 9? Oh no, do you want to be Mike or
No,
Dog?
I think I'm the.
I'll be
the
Dog.
dog. Yeah, you're Mike.
Dog, week 9 at Pittsburgh.
This is a tough test for them going west to east. I go Pittsburgh here.
Home for Minnesota.
Oh boy, Mike, that's a Super Bowl rematch from when I was a little boy. I played tennis at Von Lendl watching this game. I go Minnesota there.
At Detroit, at Tennessee.
Nobody's losing to those 2 teams the rest of the year.
Home for the Chiefs.
I give it a W there.
At Denver. They're not winning that one, Dog. They are not winning that one.
Mike, I'm holding up a Diet Coke to you. You're right. Let's cheers on that.
Home for the Packers. Dog, right around the time when Aaron Rodgers gets injured.
What week is this, Mike?
Week 15.
I believe Djokovic has a tournament that I'm not going to watch that game. That's a loss.
Home for San Diego on a Thursday night, week 16.
That's a win. I like that. I like that spot for them, Mike.
Dog, week 17 at Kansas City. Could be a wild card at stake.
Wow. No, you're right. I think that's four more wins.
You just went
right?
out of character.
Oh, I did? Oh, I thought we were done.
No. Week
At
17
Kansas
at
City?
Kansas City. Yeah.
At Kansas City, Mike, that's a great job. You look terrific. You lost 40 pounds. I love it. It's a win.
So you're saying 9-7 or 10-6 for the Raiders?
Yeah, I think 9.
9-7.
Yeah.
That's gonna get it.
Wow.
That could get it.
With
the
a
Raiders are gonna be in the
tiebreaker over the
playoffs.
Jets.
When was the last time the Raiders were in the playoffs?
It's been forever, right?
So I have I don't agree with this line. I'm just trying to factor in where Vegas would set it to try to get an equal amount of gambling on both sides. I have the Steelers by 4.5.
You're going to get it. It is 5. I said 6. I went a little heavy there.
I love the Raiders. But here's my question.
West
and
to
this
East,
is why I
though.
won't bet
West
on
to
it.
East is tough.
West to East, and a lot of people blowing a lot of smoke up their buttholes
Right.
this week, which makes me nervous with young teams.
Yeah.
They're going to hear for today and tomorrow how great they are. You guys are doing great. You guys are going to make the playoffs.
Right.
Meanwhile, Roethlisberger, you look terrible. Steelers season is over without Bell.
Mm-hmm.
I love Bell. I think he's either the first or the second best running back.
Yeah.
D'Angelo Williams isn't a catastrophe.
No, there are worse backups.
Yeah,
for sure.
like he'll be able to run for first downs and stuff for them. I don't think it kills their season. I think it hurts their ceiling as a playoff team. But
I'm trying to analyze this, thinking like the Steelers' defense. I was just about to say, oh, they're really good. They're much better than we thought. Look what they did to the Bengals. They held them under 10 for most of the game. But Oakland just went up against the Jets' defense, which is as formidable as anybody.
yeah,
The West to East might be tough.
that was a Jets game I had been waiting for a while. It seemed improbable that they were going to get through the first 2 months of the season without their quarterback situation just single-handedly murdering them in a game.
Right.
Where they just, the players just get bummed out. Like, oh my God, like we have no chance. We're behind and we have these guys. We're not coming back.
Yeah.
So then that's your case for the Jets not making the playoffs.
I think that's got to be it. But yeah,
What's
gonna
the
be a huge
Fitzpatrick
game.
injury?
Well, it was his left hand,
was
right? He came back for a minute.
He
but I'm
sadly
not sure.
came back in the last minute.
Yeah.
Geno Smith was hurt, and he just was like, all right, I'll go back.
Right, yeah.
It's more fun to watch Fitzpatrick when you think that he's the ranch hand from The Affair. Because they kind of look alike, but it's he kind
I'll
of
have
carry
to
themselves
take
the
your-
same
I'll-
way.
I'll
You're
have
not
to
watching
take
The
it.
Affair?
I'm not.
Oh.
You know what? I'll tell you
There
what.
was a boner on The Affair last night, or as my
What?
son would call it, bonus.
Oh, my God.
They showed a bonus. It was in the old guy's pants. It's a big bonus. It was like, whoa, come on, Showtime.
This is what you watched instead
Yeah,
of
I didn't feel
playoff
good about
baseball?
it. I didn't want to see a bonus at 11:45 at night.
Wow.
Yeah.
And by the way, I've decided I'm done telling people what I watch on TV.
Good. I like it. Keep it
You know why?
secret.
No, because it's always disappointing. It's like, oh, hey, Narcos was great. The guy who played Escobar was terrific. And then someone says, you know, HBO had a series where they had like 75 shows of the Pablo Escobar stories. So much better than Narcos. The guy who played Escobar was so much better. I was like, oh, really?
You just feel inadequate.
Okay, all right, now I have to watch that. Or like whenever you say you watch something, someone else will say, hey, watch this, this, and this. Like, there's just no getting ahead ever.
Well, maybe instead of just boycotting it, you should pretend you're watching shows that would make people like do a double take.
Yeah, right.
Just go, I love the CBS stuff. The Mentalist was awesome last week. Big Bang Theory did it again.
Yeah.
Just be like generic TV guy.
Well,
No, I don't really watch cable.
Maybe we make up shows. Like, yeah.
CBS.
Yeah. The White
The
Shadow
Futurist.
reboot. The White Shadow, you see? I'm just looking at your posters here. I don't know.
Yeah. And the Basic Instinct remake on Fox has been incredible. What?
Yeah. People
All right,
will search it.
let's keep going.
Green Bay at Carolina.
Ooh, what'd you make of Green Bay last night? Just a fluke bad loss or something
I mean,
worse?
that's as fluky as it gets, right? You can't 77 passing yards. I don't know. Or is Green Bay? Now we touched on it a little bit, but
They had trouble against the Rams too. We talked about
scored
it.
under 20 all month.
Oh, I sounded like Phil Simms there for a second. Well, Sal, we talked about
You're starting to look like
that
him, too.
Packers offense, and we talked about when we talked about it that they had trouble against good defenses.
Yeah, you have to remind people when you talked about
We
things.
talked about it. We've been talking about it all week.
Yeah.
We've been talking about these Packers receivers all week. We weren't there. We don't care that you and Jim Nantz were
Right.
having private conversations.
Yeah, we didn't talk. I sky wrote it to you. I hired somebody. We didn't talk about this, but we talked about everything
We
else.
should do this at our private. Well, Sal, we've been texting about it all week.
Yeah.
We've sent texts back and forth. Like,
Yeah.
what is this supposed to prove? You have a relationship,
Yeah.
or that you knew ahead of time? What is the talked about?
The more you Snapchat schematics on the Jets defense, the better off you are in today's NFL.
Jim, we talked about it all week. I love having my sacrum massaged
Right.
at a Thai spa. It just feels great. And as we talked about it, it's the kind of lift I need. Packers, I believe in them against not so good defenses. And against good defenses, I now have some concerns.
All right.
No matter how great Rodgers is, like those receivers weren't getting open.
No.
It's like Calvin Johnson yesterday against the Chiefs, who is clearly moving to a different phase of his career. He doesn't get separation anymore. And I don't feel like the Packers guys were open.
Well, a lot of this is the Lions have a terrible offensive line, and Stafford has no time.
I know.
Sometimes he just looks awful.
I
too,
would
but-
trade for Stafford.
You would?
Yeah,
You
I just think
that's
he
the
needs a
guy?
change of scenery. And if
If you're the Browns or someone, like, who
somebody who had a line, I'd be like, think of all the terrible coaches he's had.
Right.
He's just had a slew of weird offensive coordinators, no game plan. He just kind of slings it. I would trade for that guy.
You think he would maybe be a good fit in Houston? They have
Yeah.
receivers who can catch the ball.
Yeah, he needs an offensive line and a receiver and somebody to just kind of build him back up because he looks shot now. Like now it looks like he's got no confidence. I have the Packers improbably just because I think Vegas can get this line. I think Packers by 1.5 in Carolina.
You read it better than I did. I had this as a pick. I thought about it for a while. It's Packers by 2.5. It was 3. went down to 2.5.
I think they
after
just
the
give
game.
an extra 3 points for Rodgers and Packers fans.
I guess so, but this defense could shut them down too. Why would they score more than 20 against Carolina?
Well, we're taping this on a Monday, and
We talked about taping this on.
we talked about taping this on a Monday, and we don't know what's going to happen in Panthers Colts tonight.
Right. We kind of do.
Well, kind of don't. But you know what? Speaking of not knowing what's going to happen,
Uh-huh.
a lot of people ask themselves, how should I manage my money? And whether you're a multi-million-dollar investor or just starting out, the answer is Betterment. 5 years ago, Betterment created the first automated investing service to help make it easier and less expensive to make better financial decisions. I can't speak. I'm sorry, Betterment. It's early. I had my coffee as it kicked in. From building wealth to staying on track for retirement, Betterment's smarter technology provides personalized investment advice based on your financial goals, then builds and automatically manages a customized portfolio for each goal. See, you don't need this, Sal.
No.
Because you make so much money gambling on football.
Well,
every
I was
week.
just
You
going to
don't
say,
even
it's a funny place to put this spot, right?
I know.
Now we're going
It's
to tell
great.
people to bet the Titans. It's crazy.
Well, we're not as good as Betterment, but we try.
Okay.
It's easy to start investing with them by linking your bank account or rolling over your 401k or IRA. They can help you. They're already managing billions of dollars for more than 100,000 customers. Don't you want to be a smarter investor? Sign up today on your computer or smartphone. You get up to 6 months of free automated investing. Get the offer and full terms and conditions at betterment.com/BS. Betterment, investing made better. What's next?
There you go. Next, Washington at your New England Patriots.
Oh, God. I want Betterment to make this pick for me. I don't know what to make of my team when they're a high favorite at home. Like one week they're barely surviving, and the next week they're clearly going to beat the Dolphins by 25. You can see in the first minute.
Right.
I had the Pats by 12.5.
No, you have to go. I said 14.5, and it's 14. You have to make it 2 touchdowns against any of these crappy teams.
The Redskins aren't crappy though. They're
You
not
are
half
a
bad.
little worried. Cousins had 2 weeks to prepare for the Patriots, but
What was it? This is what I do. This is what we did.
this is
What did he yell when he left the
what did he
locker room?
say? Oh yeah, he did something like that.
I loved it.
You like that?
You like that?
Yeah.
You don't think he'll leave New England screaming you like that?
No, I don't think so.
Not on the cards. Okay.
I want to tell you something real quick. Like I complain. I realized the other day that I can't have it both ways. I can't say that I hate that a third of the league, the starting quarterbacks, don't belong in the league, and then go to bed and pray that Tom Brady gets hit by a tractor trailer. I can't have that. I appreciate Tom Brady now.
Oh.
I do. I think like whether he plays 3 or 10 years, it's going to be sad when he's gone.
You know what's cool about
I
him?
don't have to convince you, I know, but
It really feels like he's figured out some different level of how to play quarterback. I don't know
Yeah.
how he's like. All right, if you blitz him, he just stares at you and he laughs and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna do that? Okay, I'm gonna go here."
yeah.
And it's just every play, but physically he's not the same guy. He's
Right.
not the same guy he was 10 years ago. He doesn't move the same way.
He's like
And I don't-
constantly playing like with 9-year-olds, just like laughing them off. Yeah.
And his deep ball, not as good as it was 10 years ago, but none of it matters. It's amazing. Quick question. The AFC East is done, right?
Yeah, 3 of those.
Unless there's an injury.
Yeah.
AFC West is done. Denver wins that.
North.
AFC North, since that's crossed off, basically. I don't ever remember having 3 of the 4 divisions crossed off and going into week 9.
And the other one no one cares about. The AFC South.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
All right, what do we have?
Tennessee at New Orleans.
Tennessee and New Orleans. What do we make in New Orleans?
That's a good.
I already poured dirt on Breeze and spoke at his funeral.
Yeah, and apologies to anyone who played against Breeze or Eli Manning in fantasy yesterday, but you always want to be on the better side of the 52-49 game, and that was a big win. He showed a lot there.
It was a terrible last 2 minutes by the Giants, and now the third time they've screwed up a game in the last 2 minutes, but somehow they rigged it so that the Saints got a punt return, and all of a sudden the Saints were on the Giants 40.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have played out that way. You get it to overtime.
No. I don't know what went on.
That was a stupid game.
That was really.
You know what really bothered me is the Giants were 3.5 all week, and then on Sunday it moved to 3.
Went down to 3.
Yeah,
right?
for the old push.
Yeah.
But the over was not 100.
No, it was not 100.
If the over was 100, you covered.
88.5, and I think each team covered, right?
I have the Saints by 9 over the Titans. That's probably too low.
You know, it's It's apparently too high. I said 10, and you'll get this because it's 8. And I mean, we're two team teasing the shit out of that if it stays at 8, right? And Tennessee has no offensive line.
Well, we've been talking about that all week.
Yeah. We have been talking about that.
No, we actually haven't. You know what we have been talking about all week?
Yeah.
How bad Rob Ryan is as a defensive coordinator.
Oh, man.
That Inside the NFL piece, like in August, about him and his brother, and it's like, why haven't you gotten a job yet? It's like, because 5 times a year you give up 40 points. That's why you're a defensive coordinator. You always get torched, always.
Halloween weekend is always tough for him. His mind is elsewhere.
Katie Nolan, our friend, she went a sexy Rob Ryan.
She did?
Yeah.
I have to see a picture
It was good. Not as good as when Sarah Silverman went a sexy Hitler, but
I forgot about
remember
that.
the controversial Halloween costume.
Sexy Hitler will be running the Saints defense in no time.
I have an amazing Ken Wisenhunt stat for you.
What is it?
So Ken Wisenhunt, in his last 27 games at Arizona, went 3-24.
Right. Wow.
Ken Wisenhunt at Tennessee is 3-20. Ken Wisenhunt in his last 50 games is 6-44.
Wow.
He's 6-44. He's lost 44 of his last 50 games as a coach.
Doesn't it seem like
we haven't bet against him in every one of those games for reasons that remain
forget
unclear.
about betting it. And I like this line. I had a search to find the -8 because there's apparently a difference between Mariota and Mettenberg or whatever. But he is under the he gets to fly under the radar with coaches that need to be fired. Yeah,
he made one Super Bowl.
That's it.
And if he hadn't made that Super Bowl, he's basically Dave Wannstedt. You know,
Yeah,
he's
right.
just like he's somebody's special teams coordinator, or he's
6-44.
6-44. And knowing that, I guess not knowing that because I didn't look it up last week, but I took the Titans plus 3.5 in Houston.
No.
I took a guy who was 6-43.
Yeah,
I
you
took
didn't
him
know
on the
it was
road.
6-44. That sounds so much worse.
6-44.
Wow.
Congratulations, Ken Winston.
Now he pulls up.
That has to be the stat of the year.
You'll see. Jacksonville at New York Jets.
Is there even a line on this?
Well, I found the line, but
I think when you find lines, it's like you're finding plane tickets.
well, we talked about this, Bill. How I find
we
lines.
talked about how you've been talking all week about going to find lines.
What do you think? We might as well just throw this one out. But what do you?
I had Jets by 6.5, but I had no idea. I don't even know what quarterback's
It's not
playing.
fair, but I'll give you this one. I saw 2.5.
No.
Jets 2.5.
Come on.
Doesn't make, and it's the weirdest line of the century. Makes no sense. Jacksonville coming off a bye, I guess, but why would it be that? St. Louis at Minnesota.
I'm sorry. I don't believe in Minnesota.
I think this is
a really soft 5-2.
I like this game.
How much of the Vikings Bears game did you watch?
Very little. You saw a lot. I saw all the highlights, obviously, but
The Bears, Cutler was actually half decent considering that didn't have a ton of weapons, and they had it where they're up 7. Minnesota has the ball, basically like a do or die drive. They sack Bridgewater in the first play, so it's 2nd and 17 from his own 9, and somehow they go down and they drive. They get the game time touchdown. Chicago goes 3 and out, and then Minnesota has the ball back. Basically, let's see if we can try to get a field goal the minute left. He throws a jump ball to Charles Johnson, like 35 yards down. It just kind of heaves it up, like Joe Flacco style.
and that made it.
And the Bears just screwed it. And all of a sudden, the Vikings won. It was a terrible loss. It really
They
win
was
bad.
games like that, though. I wonder if we discredit them for that, but they.
I just don't like. I don't think Bridgewater's there yet.
He had
He
awful
missed so
stats
many
most of the
passes.
year.
He was awful.
I always stare at that.
And I think the Rams defense is going to eat him up. I have Vikings by 2, and I love the Rams.
All right, I had. You're going to get this. You're killing me this week. I said Vikings by 3. I thought for sure, and it's 2.5. Oh, we split it. We split that one. It's 2.5. You said 2. I said 3.
I think the Rams D can win that one by themselves. And I really,
I like that game.
I always root for the Vikings. The best man at my wedding is a Vikings fan. I just can't imagine them going 6-2 with what I've watched.
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs was sitting on our waiver wire for like an extra week and a half.
What did he go for? How much
Like
money?
$6.
That's like a number 1 receiver all of a sudden.
The guy's a stud.
Yeah. I don't like it.
It's you know what it is? It's yet another reason that fantasy football has made me feel bad about myself.
About yourself?
It just always makes me feel bad. I always feel like I let myself down.
Yeah.
He was sitting there for a week. I just kept looking at him. I didn't pick him up, but now he's like the new Steve Smith.
Right, it's the same guys. He was there for 3 weeks, and McFadden was there for 3 weeks, and now they're worth like $70 on the waiver wire.
Like I started I knew Deion Lewis was going to play last Thursday, and I started freaking Justin Forsett on that crappy Ravens team over him. I still won.
Didn't you win big? I was just gonna say.
I had a great week, but it's just like, and I'm sitting there like, God, I'm so stupid for starting Forsett over Lewis. It's like, why do I need this in my life? What is fun about this? All I do is hate myself for every decision I make.
It's great fun.
It's not enough to have that in the rest of my life.
It's better to just poke fun of all these other people that have to make decisions,
Yeah.
right? Miami at Buffalo.
So the Cameron Wake injury, I thought, was a deal breaker for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I thought they had a decent chance to get the wild card, and that game was like the game from hell. It set them back. They looked terrible. They had no offensive game plan. Wake goes down. they're 3-4.
3-4, and Bills are also 3-4.
So they have to go 6-3 rest of the way. Conceivably to even sniff a wild card. Maybe 7-2. They're not going to do that without Cameron Wake. I'm crossing them off.
Why don't we wait? Why doesn't the loser leaves? The loser already has his bags packed to leave town, but the Uber is on the way.
Loser leave town.
Both,
I'm fine with that.
Both 3-4.
We'll make that a loser leaves town match. I have the Bills favored by 2.5 over Miami.
We split this. I said 3.5, and it's 3.
Okay. Well, do we know who's playing quarterback for Buffalo? Because that's important.
I guess that's it.
If Tyrod Taylor's playing, I think they win.
Well, they lost. Let's not forget, Dolphins lost 41-14 in Miami. And obviously, totally different team. They've beaten Tennessee and Houston since there. Right. So I can go on and on. But I would have thought this was a little higher. You think the Bills, I guess it all depends on who's quarterback.
Bills seem, we made fun of Rob Ryan before. That I haven't liked the way Rex Ryan's coached them. I haven't liked the stuff I've read.
Yeah.
See, it seems like he's too ambitious they should just rush the D-line and have everyone. Instead, he's doing these blitzes and defensive linemen are dropping back in coverage and just like play to your strengths.
They don't have any identity now. They're certainly not the team that kills everyone at home that we thought. But
when's McCoy going to be healthy again?
Who knows with these guys? Was it this week or next?
Do you realize that
one more maybe?
Do you realize that Todd Gurley is now the best running back in the league?
He is.
Would you rather have him or Peterson?
I have him. I traded.
Just like right now, if you were trying to make the playoffs with one of those two guys.
Oh, with the way they use it. On a real team, you mean?
Yeah.
Todd Gurley.
Tough one.
I think Todd Gurley.
Who's third?
Third best.
Third was Bell.
There's a guy named.
He might have been second.
Yeah. Forte was good. I don't know. I mean, there's so many busts.
So running back.
So many busts.
And every year in a draft.
Charles.
Yeah, Lacey looks like he's a freaking offensive guard.
Forte was okay for a while. I don't even know who you.
Yeah, it's
McCoy,
my point is like
Murray, all those guys poorly.
Yeah, look at who's starting
Hill.
for fantasy teams now, like Charkandrick West, Deion Lewis, Darren McFadden.
Well, Chris Johnson is like top 3 in the NFL now rushing.
All these guys like Doug Martin.
Yeah, Doug Martin.
Who we've all had on our team and waived.
Right.
And now all of a sudden he's semi-competent again.
And Devonta Freeman. You either got for $1 or you got him in the supplemental.
So why are we spending $58 on running backs at a fantasy auction? And that era should be done. Every year,
why are we spending on anything? Like you can pick up an 8-point receiver in fantasy right now.
Well, it seems like there's only 7 or 8 sure things anymore in fantasy. Like Gronk's a sure thing.
Sure.
We all sat there and like, man, it'd be great to have Gronk. Oh, $40. I can't afford that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay, well, he's going to have 1,400 yards and 20 TDs. You should probably pay the $45 for him.
I think a strong move because, like, even you look at the quarterback rankings, even Blake Bortles is in the top 5. And
Derek Carr.
Yeah, all these guys. So I think we should start doing
Palmer,
like a Phil Hellmuth kind of thing. Like, show up at the draft like an hour in, and just like,
just psych him out.
All right, who's gone? I'm gonna get Bortles and this year's
great.
Freeman and whoever else.
That's basically what Elliott tried to do in that draft, didn't he?
Right.
Like he let every guy go.
Yeah, he let everybody go, and now he's 6-2, I think.
Yeah.
Right. Late afternoon games: Atlanta at San Francisco.
Oh, I'm gonna try not to watch any of this. Hey, I'm out.
They gave us 3 late afternoon games. Thank you, NFL.
Yeah, thanks NFL. Atlanta, just done with them.
Well, I was going to say
4 straight mediocre performances by them. I think that's just who they are.
They can't beat bad
mediocre.
teams at home. They should have lost to Washington at home. They're 6-2. I wanted to say Seattle grabs that second wild card. I think Minnesota grabs one just because their schedule. But Atlanta's schedule is not that hard if you look at it. I think they have the Panthers twice, and then everything else is easy.
They beat your team in week 3. when it was first Brandon Weeden game.
They were down like 14.
They killed the Texans, who suck. They barely beat the Skins. They lost to the Saints. They barely beat the Titans, who are atrocious.
Yeah.
And then they lost to the Bucks.
Yeah.
So they're not good. They're an even worse 6-2 than Minnesota's.
They still have the Texans though. They still have the Colts. They have easy games.
I can't wait to bet against them in the playoffs.
Right.
I have Falcons by. Oh, I had trouble with this. Falcons by 3.5, and I hate it.
You went a little low. I said 4, and it's 5.
Oh.
They're just not giving San Francisco.
The old Vegas zone. Yeah. See, I think Kaepernick could be good in this game. They don't have a pass rush.
You think his teammates aren't even going to let him suit up? They're gonna hide him in the locker before the game.
Oh, that'd be interesting if they hit his equipment.
Yeah, he's not getting out.
Who's their backup?
Isn't it Gabbert? Is it Blaine Gabbert?
God, what happened to the Niners?
I don't know.
And their coach is like he's like the janitor in Bad News Bears and Breaking Training. Yeah. There's a dated movie reference.
I'm watching the reboot on Netflix.
Oh, are you? How is it?
Oh, well, yeah, I don't want to get it. You definitely should watch.
I heard William Peterson's incredible.
He's great, and he does something else in it's called Celtics Tradition. Have you ever seen it?
No.
Oh yeah,
is that on Hulu?
Yeah, that's on Hulu. But half of it's on Hulu, and the other is on Ask Jeeves.
I was watching Bryan Cranston's new show on Amazon Prime. He's a psychiatrist.
Right.
Really good.
Is it good?
Yeah, really good. They only did 10
now.
episodes.
Yeah.
No, it's really good.
I know. See, it's another one.
By the way, that's not a show either.
All right, Giants at Tampa Bay.
I really want to like Winston. I'll tell you, he rekindles a lot of the same feelings I had for Josh Freeman.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like seeing your ex at a bar, but it's not your ex. It's some girl who's 4 years younger, and you're like, oh, you kind of remind me of my ex.
He doesn't make any mistakes.
Jameis Winston?
He doesn't.
Other than the 20 he makes?
No, the crab leg and standing in the cafeteria.
Oh, that kind of stuff.
The last 3 games, I don't think he's turned the ball over.
I've been waiting for a year for somebody to write the 8,000-word long-form piece about what the hell happened to Josh Freeman. The guy was like a lights-out young quarterback that if you're starting your franchise, he would have been one of the top 10 picks. And now he's like in the XFL.
I think it's going to have to be your 8,000-word column.
Okay, all
right. Maybe
right.
just tweet it a little at a time. Yeah.
I have the Giants giving 2.5 points in Tampa Bay.
I thought I'd steal that from you. We both had it, and it is 2.5 points. Let me add these up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I think I'm killing you.
No, it's like 7-6 with 3 ties, but
so
it's like 4-3. All right.
True or false?
You're going to win, though.
True or false?
Yeah.
Tampa Bay's 3-4.
Yeah, they are. They
have some bad teams left on their schedule. The only thing that's hurting them is that their coach went in Oklahoma about a year and a half ago.
That was bad.
If that hadn't happened and they weren't propping him up on the sidelines and he was just
I really did like that 4th and 1 call.
I did too.
It didn't work, but
I did too. I love just making fun of any bad coaching decision, but in the moment I was like, go for the jugular. It was good.
Oh, they had their own 37 or something.
They should have faked the QB sneak and done like a jump pass or something.
All right, Denver at Indy.
Good one. Broncos by 3.
I guess it's good. You get that exactly. I thought a little higher. I said 4.5. It is 3.
Are you enjoying Ribsgate?
You love that.
Ribsgate. They lied about Andrew Luck on the injury report.
Are Patriots fans allowed to throw stones on flying injury reports?
Lots of stones. We've lied on injury reports
every
for
week
100 years.
On the injury
I think Brady, I actually think he might have played with it like a broken foot one year.
Yeah.
And just nobody ever knew about it. And there was another year he had broken ribs for like 6 weeks. He was playing with a flak jacket.
And then sometimes they're on and they don't have any injuries. Like they just they mix it all up.
The reality is the injury report is for gamblers and it's not like the other teams like, hey, I heard Luck has injured ribs. We're going to play him differently. Like,
right. Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
But it does explain a lot. Like we had, House and I were talking about Luck on Friday. Mm-hmm. I didn't think he looked right. There's something.
No,
the way he was throwing the ball just didn't look right. Yeah. So now we know why.
That's why I thought this would be a little higher. If that defensive line's going to get to him on a short week.
It does seem like, all right, so Monday night, which is tonight. We're taping this podcast on a Monday. If they lose that game to Carolina, which they're 7-point underdogs.
Yes, they'll be tied with Houston.
Now you're going into this game.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if they'll fire the coach.
I think they have another one, too. I think they have... Who do they have next week? Don't they have Green Bay or somebody?
Who?
Indy. I think they have like 3 monster.
Oh, the week after.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had a bad schedule.
This was
except for the 6 games they get against the putrid AFC
right.
South.
Yeah, this is a rough stretch. Let's talk about Denver for a second.
Yeah, let's talk about
Super Bowl
Denver.
odds, 10-1. I know you think the Patriots are coming out, and it makes sense, but 10-1 at this point.
I don't think anything. It's November. We know every year that in November you start to realize who's good and who's not good, and we all write off these teams in September. I thought Denver wasn't going to be able to score enough. You watched last night, they were blocking for Manning. That was the first time we've seen them with an offensive
true.
line.
And he still didn't throw a touchdown pass,
Right.
and they still killed, and they're double digits to 1 odds to win the Super Bowl. I think you take
I don't
it.
trust him in January.
But so what? So you have 10-1 odds. If they go to New England, they're a 6-point underdog.
Yeah, as a Pats fan, that's the team that scares me the most.
Right.
Just because they have a really good defense. Like they could
It's really no one else.
they could get a low scoring game where they run the ball and do some stuff. And the thing is, our defense is coming on. We actually have a pass rush this year, which I feel good about. Secondaries, the Revis thing hasn't hurt like I think people thought. I like the defense.
Always works out for you.
We can rush the passer, which is super important. Hey, you know what else is important? Science.
No, I don't think so.
Have you ever wondered whether inception is scientifically possible or whether a pandemic outbreak could actually resemble a zombie apocalypse? Well, you should subscribe to the Crack Podcast to find out. They've partnered with GE to create a 4-part podcast miniseries about the world's most important scientific breakthroughs with help from world-renowned experts in brain research, robotics, infectious disease, aging. Come on, Sal, you love The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah.
The guys from Cracked will figure out on Breakthrough whether science fiction has become science fact. So subscribe to the Cracked Podcast on iTunes or any of your favorite podcast apps today. And speaking of podcast apps, we're now on Stitcher.
Oh, good.
And Stitcher is a great app. And they're not even paying us for anything. I just really like the app. I wanted to be on Stitcher. I used it on an airplane a couple weeks ago, and I thought it was cool. I really like the part that if you're listening to, you know how you listen to a podcast and then all of a sudden, you get taken away and then you come back and you can't remember where you got left off.
Yeah, you have to scroll all the way.
Yeah. Somehow they know where you left off and they bring you back to the spot, which I think is like awesome.
That scares me.
I recommend Stitcher, and I think if you, I love iTunes. iTunes has been great, and that's how I listen to podcasts.
That's it. We're saying goodbye to iTunes.
No.
Oh, no, we still haven't.
Well, the iCloud's going to be in cars in like a year, so you're going to want to keep iTunes. But
Right.
I like Stitcher. I think there's some good stuff out there. Anyway, we are on Stitcher, so check that out.
Let's do it.
Sunday night.
Philly at Dallas.
Oh, boy. Who's your quarterback?
Well, Weeden, Castle, it all seems to be the same. Now maybe we should go back to Weeden. Like, you can't settle for 4 field goals. Like, how does Garrett not know that you can't just run your offense to just get by and not win? And that's why we lost to Seattle. That and them not calling a 12-man on the field penalty. Them actually giving Pete Carroll a chance to not call a timeout. That was bizarre.
The one thing I like about Whedon is he can throw 45 yards downfield and at least keep your team honest. I would have liked to have seen
Whedon.
He can throw deep. Yeah, it's the only thing he can do.
What do you?
I'm not saying he can complete it to his own receiver, but I'm saying he can throw it 45 yards downfield.
I guess.
So with Dez, at least you get some jump balls with him.
Yeah, I guess maybe Dez might benefit more from.
I had an idea for you for this week with the Cowboys because your season's almost definitely over anyway.
Sure.
Why it's never worked before, but why can't it work now? The subbing quarterbacks in for different downs and different series.
Oh.
Just to keep the defense on their toes. It's like, oh, you thought you're getting a little sucky Brandon Whedon? Watch this. You're gonna get Matt Castle this play.
Right. Well, you maybe do that when you have a wildcat quarterback or something in there. But
I'm just anything to keep the defense like, wait, who's in now? Is that Whedon? He's the one that sucks because of this reason.
Right.
Castle, and maybe they'll get confused.
Maybe they'll start laughing. The defense, it could work out.
You could have a lot of shots of them running back and forth and like high-fiving like they're in a youth soccer team.
I will say the Hardy interception, great play by a great man. Came down with it. That was nice. The first turnover in like 5 games. Terrific.
I don't want to spoil it, but apparently SI Sportsman of the Year issue. They're looking hard at Hardy.
He's going to make it?
I think it's going to be Greg Hardy.
Because of that play and his off the field.
It's going to be the first ever sarcastic Sportsman of the Year issue. They're going to put him on the cover. Yeah.
I like it.
I have the Eagles by 3.5 in Dallas.
Man, don't you think that's a little high? I said Philly by 1, but it is 3, and you're gonna win the week with that. You clinched that.
Yeah. Well, at least I did something good this week because my picks were terrible.
Why do we think Philly is?
We don't.
So we think they're 6.5, 6 points.
Do you have Greg
better?
Hardy this week?
I think he'll play. Yeah,
I like Dallas.
He was yelling at someone.
Your
on the
defense is
sidelines.
pretty good.
I know, we just can't score. It's all field goals all the time.
I keep waiting for Seattle to turn around, and they can't really block.
Mm-hmm.
They get into like inside the 25. The play calling is always awful. It doesn't seem like they can get any 3rd and 8 play. It's always like Wilson goes back and then he scrambles for 5 yards and gets tackled.
Right.
I don't like how they look. And
I was trying to think of a way they sneak in, and it was be Atlanta's spot that they took, but
they got to
they're
get
2
going
games
now.
behind. Yeah.
They got to get going now.
Well, they
I
have
just
a
don't.
bye.
It doesn't seem like they're explosive at all.
No.
And they need to, right? I mean, last year, this is when they made the push, right around Thanksgiving. They won that Thursday night game, and they kind of got going. But their offense isn't good enough, and they can't extend drives.
Well, the problem is they have Arizona and St. Louis, and those are not going to be easy games the rest of the way.
What's the Rams' record?
Rams are, what do we have, 4-3. Seattle's 4-4.
I think the Rams could win that division.
Well, Arizona's 6-2. Yeah, there's a game and a half.
But
behind.
Palmer hasn't had his annual injury yet.
They have the head-to-head win too.
Palmer hasn't had his broken thumb or his broken ribs or his pulled hamstring, or he's not going to play 16
Has
games.
he announced when he's going to get hurt yet?
He was thinking week 12.
Really?
Yeah.
We talked about week 12 for Carson Palmer's injury.
We've been talking for a long time
Pre-game
about how
production,
important Carson Palmer's health is to that team. And he told us when we met with him last night, actually, that he wanted to stay healthy.
All right, Monday, Chicago at San Diego. I don't know when this ever looked like a good game. For
God.
2-5 Bears.
San Diego's
2-6
nobody
Chargers.
left. I'm gonna say San Diego by 1, and I don't feel good about it.
Oh, man. You might have been closer. No, I said San Diego by 6, and it was 4.
That's stupid. First of
You
all, they
still
have
get
no
it.
home field advantage at all.
Yeah.
0. If anything, there would be 30,000 Bears fans there. Think of all the Chicago
Oh, yeah,
transplants
you're
in
right.
LA who's
That's
going to
where they
drive
are.
there.
Yeah.
So you have 30,000 Bears fans. Everyone on the Chargers got hurt yesterday. They showed some graphic at one point of all the injuries just from the game, and there was like 10 Chargers and Steve Smith. Just
Right.
like guys who got knocked out of the game. It was like, oh my God, are they going to have a team next week?
Yeah.
It was a really violent week.
Yeah, it was.
The Le'Veon Bell injury it seemed like that reminded me of like Willis McGahee and that bowl game where it just looked like, oh my God, he's never going to walk again. But it turns
This
out
is the
it's
week.
like
Wasn't it
MCL.
last week, week 9, last year, week 8 that all went down?
Anything to plug?
I have a few things. Jimmy Kimmel Live tonight. Mark Ruffalo, Constance Wu, Color Me Brad. We do a music mashup, Bill. We have Color Me Bad and Brad Paisley. They wouldn't perform normally, but we mashed them up. And later in the week, Sharon Stone, Batista is on. If you want to bring the boy by, Seth Rogen, Odin
Batista?
Kirk, David Cross, Hillary Clinton will be on later in the week. I think she's going to run. Can we bet on that? She's going to run.
Well, we have
I could
Rubio,
say.
and Rubio's going to win. So we went 1 for 2.
For the Republican?
Yeah, we have Rubio plus 650.
I
That's
don't
going to
know.
win.
That should win.
That's going to win.
Hit me up at the Cousin Sal on Twitter. And Sports Center 6-0 the last 2 weeks.
Wow, congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. I don't know what's going on, but catch me late Thursday night on the worldwide leader in sports, ESPN.
And you can catch every Bill Simmons podcast on BillSimmonsPodcast.com, on iTunes, on SoundCloud, on Stitcher. At some point, I'm going to address the Grantland thing. I'm just not sure when, but it was obviously a really sad weekend for a lot of reasons. And it's going to take a while to sort out my thoughts. But anyway, that's it for the BS
All right.
report. Cuz, good job by you.
Yeah, I just need a new football team, a new baseball team. We'll be fine. Any
you'll be
thoughts?
fine.
Take me on. Good
Well,
job
we
by
have-
you, Billy.
We have the Rockets.
We
We have the Rockets to win the division, and we have
that.
they're 0-3, and Dwight Howard's just not already playing.
They lose
and-
by 25.
Yeah, it might have cost us a couple $1,000s there.
What a creep.
Anyway, speaking of dollars, thanks also to Betterment for sponsoring today's episode. As the first automated investing service, Betterment has revolutionized investing and made it easier and less expensive to be a smarter investor. Get personalized advice and investment management for a fraction of the cost of traditional services. Sign up today. Get up to 6 months of free automated investing. Full terms and conditions at betterment.com/BS. And thanks to the Cracked Podcast for sponsoring today's episode. Remember, they've partnered with GE to create Breakthrough, a 4-part podcast miniseries about the world's most important scientific breakthroughs with help from world-renowned experts in brain research, robotics, infectious disease, and aging. The guys from Cracked will figure out whether science fiction has become science fact. That's the Breakthrough miniseries only on the Crack podcast. And thanks also, again, to Betterment Investing Made Better. Play us out, Tupac.
We about this bitch. Anytime y'all want to see me again, rewind this track right here, close your eyes, and picture me rolling.